By Kaplan, please.
Oh, tonight I want to talk about a very strange subject. The name of there's two names to the subject, but the more catchy name is about tshuva that wears a striemal. And that's something that been bothering me a long time, even though it's none of my business. But I've been thinking about it's been bothering me. Is that about tshuva that wears a striemal? Is that a healthy side, or is that an unhealthy side? But that's just a subtitle. But what I really want to talk about is the concept of Yichus. What does Yichus mean? And I'm going to start talking about that, and from that we're going to get to this subject of about tshuva that wears a striemal. There's such a thing that Chazal called Yichus. And it starts from the Gemara in Kiddushin, Davayin Omid Beis. The Gemara says, K'shakadosh Baruch Hu mashre shchinosu. So ein mashre, the Shechina does not rest Ela ala mishpachos miyuchosus shebe Yisrael. The Shechina only rests on mishpachos that are miyuchos. What's called not miyuchos? Gerim. Anybody who comes out of Gerim. Now, it could be where some people don't even know about it. Maybe 10 generations ago, their ancestors were Gerim. The Shechina only rests on Mishpachos Miyuchosos Shebe Yisrael. And then
Rabbi Kaplan, if one person has somebody 8 generations ago, a ger, he's already doesn't have the Shechina on him? Is that what you're saying?
Now, it seems to me that that's the way it is. Although, I want to let you know that Reb Tzadok HaKohen has a long discussion about it.
On Yisrael Kadoshim.
What?
In the Sefer Yisrael Kadoshim.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
you know.
Kol HaKavod.
So,
Lee.
He has a long talk about it, and he brings different sources. And one of the sources he brings is from Ovadia. Ovadia was, you understand what I mean? Ovadia was a Gerad Domi, and the Shechina rested on him. And there's a Rashi in Tainis that says the Shechina does not rest on a ger. A ger can't become a novi. So there are different steers in it, and you have to look up in the Sefer Yisrael Kedoshim where Reb Tzadok is marich in it. This is a Gemara. What do we say? Kiddushin Davayin Omid Beis. That the Shechina does not rest only on Mishpachos Miyuchosos Shebe Yisrael. And the Gemara says that I guess it's much harder. Now, we're not talking about Olam Haba, we're not talking about getting schar. Talking about Ashras Shechina, which that means a separate thing. Now, that means there is such a thing that's called Yichus. I once was in a taxi coming back from Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim. As you know, the Sheirut taxis, they fill up with, 7 people they used to fill up with. I don't know what it is nowadays already. Maybe 30 years already I haven't gone on such a taxi. The 2 Hasidic Yungalite that were sitting behind me in this taxi, they must have been coming back from a simcha, and they were talking about the yichus of this one and that one. It must have been that they were talking about the yichus of the chosn, the kala, the mechutanim, and I think you could say at least a half an hour they talked about this family and that family, this one is connected, that one to that one. Is this what Chazal mean when they say Yichus? Is this all they mean, all it is? That somebody can come and say, I come from Rabbi Elimelech. Wow, so what? And what are you? A money changer, a businessman? So what if you come from Rabbi Elimelech? But what do you know about Rabbi Elimelech? Do you know anything about him that that it makes a difference. Does Rabbi Elimelech make any difference to you? What does it mean, Yichus? So, there's a beautiful piece in the Sefer Beis Yaakov, which is the second Ishbitzer, the son of the Mea Shiluach, in Parshas Va'era Os Lamed. In Parshas Va'era it says, Eila Roshei Beis Avosim, and the Torah tells the Yichus of Shevet Reuven, Shimon, and Levi. The Ishbitzer says, brings that Gemara, that Eina Shechina Shara Ela Mishpachas HaMichosas B'Yisrael. And the Ishbitzer says, what does it mean, Yichus? Shemakirin Sharsham. They know where they came from. He knows that he comes Meratzono Yisbarach, he says. V'yesh lo korach kifus godol. He has a big kifus, he says. I'm holy. I come from Hashem. My neshama comes from a high place. I'm not just stammer like a cat that digs in the garbage. I'm a holy neshama, no matter how much I know. I don't know that much Torah, but my neshama comes from a very high place. And the Ishbitzer continues over here, and he says that from the Yedias HaYichus, from knowing your Yichus, a person knows Hashem, and he has a koach tefillah. That means he has a strong belief that he has a power of tefillah, that he can come to Hashem and say, you created me. You're my father. How could you just let me go like that? How could you let me suffer? How could you let me be poor? How could you give me weak kishronos? That's Yichus, he says. How could that you could come to Hashem? Yichus brings that you could come to Hashem with a taina mefureshes. I went just now, tonight, I was in the Makolet on Katznelnbogen, and this guy, he doesn't wear yarmulke, and he got some kind of a earring in his ear. Damn, a low life. Or maybe, I don't know if he's such a low, miscan I would call him. So he started saying, what was he saying? Are you allowed to ask, why did Hashem do us these sorrows? His father died young. Why did Hashem do it? You're not allowed to ask why. I was into my cousin there, and he was talking to Chaim Moser Sternbuch. I saw that I better say something over here. If I'm not going to say something, I don't know if I could rely on a Sternbuch. So I said, and they told me you're not allowed to ask why. So I said to him, don't worry about it, you're allowed to ask why. He doesn't wear a kippah, this guy. So you have to be I don't know if you have to be maybe you have to be Mekar.
Rabbi Kaplan,
what?
Just to bring an asmach to the Recha and the beginning of the Holy Sefer, Vayoel Moshe, Rabbeinu Yoel asked the same question, are we allowed to ask? And he says, we have to ask. And he brings many proofs and rayas. Rockland to give you support. Excuse me?
To ask what? To ask why?
Yes.
Right. Oh, very good. So I said, so before that person will make a mistake, I said to this boy, this teenager, I don't know what maybe he's more than a teenager. I said, don't worry about it. You're allowed to ask why. Like he was complaining. They told me I'm not allowed to ask why. I said, don't worry. You're allowed to ask why. You just have to know what to do with it afterwards, after you ask why. And if you don't get the right answer, are you going to be parek all, or are you going to continue and you're going to say, I can't understand? So that the same thing is with Yichus, the same thing. The Ishbitzer says, Yichus, it depends what you do with it. But he says, it brings a kifus gadol, it gives a person. It gives a person a strength. It gives a person a self-confidence. I have Yichus. No matter how low I am, no matter how little Torah I know, I'm Hashem's son. My neshama comes from a high place. It comes from Tachas Kisei HaKavod. So he has the feeling that he thinking. I have a koach of tefillah. I mean, somebody is suffering, or somebody has a certain problem. Klal Yisrael's problems. We could go. I mean, it was not long ago. Satmar, Zilberberg. He made a Yom Tefillah for Klal Yisrael, for a few different tzaras that Klal Yisrael is suffering. But man, one of the things was Gzeras HaGiyus, that they're talking. I don't know what the facts are, but he seems that he does know that they're talking about drafting yeshiva bachim. So he made a Yom Tefillah. So I'm saying that he mamish believes that this we have a problem. So we need tefillahs. I heard with Rav Steinman that they once came to him and they told him that the chinuch hatzmai is very deep in debt. I caught a deficit, a very big deficit they have. So he said, okay, so give me a week. So they didn't know what he meant. They meant a week. Maybe he's going to solve something. So after a week, they came to him and they said, we still have the deficit. He says, but I'm davening for it. Like he had such a munah pshuta. I'm davening for it. Something should change. So the pshat is Yichus adds to that koach that I'm able to daven to Hashem and change something.
Rabbi Kaplan.
I'm able to say Baruch Aleinu, and it can make a difference. My tefillah makes a difference. I once said...
Rabbi Kaplan.
What?
While you mention this, I just want to mention it was printed in the Rav Steinman sheet a week or two ago. The Hinchas Ma'ik came. We want to open schools in Afula, in Chadera, in different places. We have no money. So he called up his friend, the Ger Rebbe, and said, we're going to America. We're going to raise money. It's so very...
Yeah, right.
So
I mean, like that's a pshat gedol Yisrael that as soon as you see there's a problem, so we'll do something. We're not going to sit and think and start planning. We'll get up and we'll do. And by the way, once you mentioned that, I want to add this story that it said in that same sheet, that they told him that if you go to America, you have to first print some kind of a small pamphlet with your biography and spread it in America before you go, and they'll know who you are and what you are, and then you'll go, and then you'll be successful. He said, Bishum Ofen, you're not printing my biography, and you're not spreading, you're not doing anything. So they told him, but this is necessary. He said, it doesn't matter, you don't do such a thing. I refused to do such a thing, and then he went, and he was successful. They say, you see, the people that live with Hashem.
He was successful in Me'alu Me'aver.
That's what it said. Me'alu Me'aver means much more than what was expected. You see, if you live with Hashem, you have a whole different way of looking at things. It's like somebody that he's a son of a millionaire. Let's say Reichman has a son. Says he's going to worry, how am I going to pay the 500 shekel out to the Makolet? How am I going to buy bread? Does he worry about such a thing? Nah, he's Reichman's son. I mean, there was once a son of Reichman that even he thought he's so rich he could do whatever he wants, and then he died young. You remember that story?
I remember very well, yes.
Yeah, but that's what Yichus means. Yichus means like this, that I'm a son of Hashem. But Sof Kol Sof, when the Gemara says Yichus, the Gemara does mean that he has ancestors. The pshat is...
It's called Beluz Banshak.
He's a Banshak. Yeah,
Banshak Kadoshim
means Benon Shal Kadoshim, the son of the Holy Ones. It's a phrase that's used in our world, the Benon Shal Kadoshim. Actually, it comes from the Gemara. It's how do you say it? It's ironic, I think, is the word.
Rabbi Kaplan, we're going to take a break now. Thank you.